Welcome to Moment of Clarity. I'm Lee Camp, and in this episode I want to talk about how capitalism is yet again turning to socialism to save it from itself. And as you can tell, I'm coming to you from my house because I can't get to my office thanks to social distancing or whatever the fuck. And you can also tell that this is the casual version of Moment of Clarity because I have on my cabana wear. See? Because this is like, this type of shirt, it's like a mullet. It's like business in the front, party on the arms. Woohoo! They are free. These arms will not be held back. No, they will not. Yet again, we're seeing that capitalism is collapsing, it's in crisis, and it's turning to socialism to save it. We have a massive multi-trillion-dollar bailout, an unimaginable amount of money, okay? And plus Trump wants to bail out the airline industry, the oil and fracking industry, the cruise ships, he said the hotels, which might be kind of good for him, right? The big banks. There's a million things he wants to bail out. Even weapons contractors like Boeing, he wants to bail out because God forbid the true, merchants of death aren't able to continue their business right now. Now, before we get into it, we gotta understand that people mean different things when they say socialism, right? There is the full-fledged socialist Marxist system that some people mean when they say socialism, in which the workers own the means of productions. The workers own the factory. There is no higher class that tells the employees, the slaves, what have you, what to do. That is kind of the systemic view of socialism. Obviously, that's not what we're talking about here because no one's talking about that in the bailout. At no point have I heard a politician or really anyone say, I've got an idea, let's give all the corporations to the workers. Although, that might be a fun idea to try out. But then there's the socialist aspects of capitalism, of our capitalistic system. That is often what people mean when they say, oh, that's socialism. That's what, when people point to Social Security, Medicaid, the roads, how about that? The fire department, the police, the public water fountains, which don't really exist anymore. Public jungle gyms, if you can find one of those. You remember the ones you used to, anybody could go there, anybody. It was open to the public, paid for by taxpayer money. You just show up there, you hang from the monkey bars when you're, in first grade, and then that kid Billy, he was always named Billy. Billy would come and he'd shank you, he'd just rip your shorts down, and everyone's just laughing, and you're ruined for life. And I am not upset about it any longer, because I am well adjusted. Then there's the military, the military is actually the largest socialist organization in the world. You ever stop to ponder that? Not to mention the lower levels of the military, they're all kind of equal, right? All the privates are all equal in their ranks. They march together in little lines. They wear the same outfits. It's interesting that you'd think if capitalism is so wonderful, why is it not used in the military there? So anyway, with all of those socialist aspects of our society, most people are referring to something that is funded by all of us via our tax dollars and then is meant to benefit all of us. All of us can use these things. You can use the roads. You can use the bridges. You can use the public water fountains if they were still existed and weren't filled with spiders. You could use these things. They're open to all. They're funded by taxpayer dollars. Of course, when I say anyone could benefit from them, I don't know about the military. I mean, how much benefit are you really getting considering they're causing havoc around the world, and they really don't make us any safer at all. They make us less safe, and it's just fucking killing millions of people, and so that's loads of blood just on all of our hands. So that's not the best kind of benefit. I don't know, it's not really a benefit. But that's a discussion for another time. Let's keep going here. So we have many things that are socialist in our society, but what's most telling about capitalism, about our capitalistic system, is that socialism is used to come save capitalism from itself. And this is not unusual. This is not the first time this has happened. We have right now where we're going to see massive bailouts to try and save our largely unfettered capitalist system. But also the 2008 collapse, right? They came in, they bailed out the big banks. We had to prop up the system with socialism. If we just had a free market, if this was truly just a free market, if it was the invisible hand of the free market to let it do its thing, then the banks would have collapsed in 2008, right? There's so many things would be collapsing right now. All those ones I listed earlier: oil and fracking, the banks, the cruise ships, the hotels. They would all be collapsing if we were just going by the free market. But the big banks and all of those other powerful corporate CEOs, corporate owners of our society, guess what? They also own our government, our politicians. So they go to our politicians and they say, hey, bail us the fuck out. And our good little politicians and puppets go, yes, sir. And ma'am, there's a few women in there. I think it's like 5 or 10%. And then our politicians bail them out to the tune of trillions of dollars. Like I said, unimaginable amount of money, all right? If you earn $40,000 a year, it would take you 25 million years to make $1 trillion. So if this ends up being a $4 trillion bailout, we're talking 100 million years of work for you to make that amount of money. You can't even comprehend it. If there were a stack of dollar bills and every dollar bill said $1,000 on it, you know how high that stack would be? Stack of $1,000 bills to make it $1 trillion? It'd be 65 miles high. Okay, this is an unimaginable amount of money. Meanwhile, in these bailouts, the average workers, the average people generally get very little, right? Even in this one, they may send us $1,200 checks for each person. Oh my goodness, whoopee! I got a check for $1,200. And yes, for some people that will make a significant short-term benefit. But it is nothing compared to the trillions that will be dumped into big business, big banks, big oil, big weapons contractors, big assholes. The money that will be dropped into there far outweighs the amount of money that is given to your average person. Not to mention, what will most average workers use that $1,200 for? They'll use it to pay off their loans, pay off their debt, pay off the things that are crushing down around them. So where's that $1,200 going to go? Back to the banks, back to the credit card companies, back to the auto lenders. It's going to go back there. It's not actually going to end up in the hands of most of these people. So here's an idea. How about a large-scale bailout of the people, of you and me? Like the government covers all the student loan debt out there, wipes it away. Or the government erases all home loan debt or auto debt. The auto debt bubble is massive right now. Why not bail us out rather than the ruling elite? If you're going to use socialism to save this fucked up, corrupt system, then use it on us. Not just the oil companies that are fucking killing us. But no matter what, even if it was used on us, no matter what, it would still show that capitalism, it's a completely failed system. It is a system designed to extract the wealth to the top. A very tiny number of individuals get extremely wealthy while everyone else works their goddamn asses off. And once their asses are gone, they work their thighs off. And then the thighs are gone, and they work the little part behind the knee. That part, they work that off. And when that's gone, okay, I'll stop there. But this is a boom-bust cycle that is built in to capitalism. It's nothing new. 4 to 7 years is the average of the boom-bust cycle for our stock exchange, our stock market, and our capitalist system. And it's been more than that this time. We got lucky and we pushed it to over 10 years since the last collapse. And now what happens? It collapses and all the money is given to the large industries, the large corporate owners of our society. This week, the hashtag "Won't Die for Wall Street" was trending because some of the ruling elite are literally proposing that we all go back to work and that we all go back to restaurants and back to hanging out in movie theaters and shopping malls so that they can continue their fairy tale of extracting trillions and trillions of dollars out of hardworking Americans, sucking it out and giving it to them in an incredibly unequal and unstable system. They are sociopaths. And yet again, capitalism is looking to socialism to save it from itself. It sits there and it grabs up everything, and then when it all comes tumbling down, it goes, "Hey, socialism, how you been? I know I said some shitty things about you, but it would be really cool if you could just, spot me. What do you have in your pockets? Like a couple trill? Just spot me a couple trill. Come on, man. What are friends for? What did I ever do to you other than just slander you and create coups in any country that possibly wants to hang out with you?" That is your moment of clarity. If you want more of this style, these topics, etc., please check out my comedy special, which is now free. Stand-up comedy special, taped live in Los Angeles. It's at leecampamerican.com. Free for a limited time on YouTube. You don't have to sign up or anything. Just grab it there and please share it with people. That's Lee Camp American. Also, you can get 10% off my new book, which also addresses a lot of these topics. The flaws of capitalism, how the Wall Street's a Ponzi scheme, $21 trillion of unaccounted for adjustments at our Pentagon. Covers all that in my new book. Go to leecampbook.com to get the 10% off. Use the promo code, the initials of the book title, BPAPL, which is bullet points and punchlines. That's the name of the book. Put in the initials as the promo code, coupon code, and you'll get 10% off. You can also grab a digital version if you want to read it right now. All right, thanks a lot. Keep fighting.